I cannot be the only one that notices the parallels between Katy Perry and Jennifer Lopez, and it's been back to back. They staged these big musical comebacks with their albums, This Is Me Now and 143. Neither one of the albums were well received and both flopped. Their tours were at the center of controversy due to allegations about struggling ticket sales, and in Katy's case, awkward performances as well. And the ultimate cherry on top seems to have been the dissolution of their very public relationships, Jennifer with Ben Affleck and Katy Perry with Orlando Bloom. There's been a common term used in pop circles called the witness era, when referring to a pop star going through a tough album cycle, stemming from the rollout of Katy Perry's 2017 album Witness. But I feel like what J.Lo and Katy have been through supersedes a rough album rollout. What they've been through had a palpable effect on their images and careers, and unfortunately during the mess, more mess transpired to their personal life. I would argue that Miley Cyrus has gone through similar scenarios throughout her career, but it didn't have such catastrophic results. I feel like with Katy Perry, there's just been one thing after the next, and unfortunately, a lot of it has been self-inflicted. Obviously, there was Woman's World, the 143 album, that signified a drastic artistic downturn from one of the most iconic hitmakers of the 2010s. Then there was the space venture that Katy Perry took part in and got a lot of backlash for, an all-women trip to space aboard a Blue Origin rocket. It was hyped to be this revolutionary moment, a step for womankind, but people dismissed it as a disgusting show of gaudiness in a time where the world is facing extreme economic strife. It's important to emphasize the people aboard this flight were not astronauts doing research in space, something that is actually beneficial to our understanding of the world. It was famous rich people advertising a company for a famous rich friend. That friend in this case being Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in the world. The flight to space lasted only 11 minutes, but the fallout seemed massive. There were even reports that alleged that Katy Perry regretted going to space due to the backlash, and some reports that alleged that it caused tension between her and Orlando Bloom. I think the promotion of the space trip as a feminist mission really angered the public. It was met with the sentiment of, do these rich people really think we are dumb? In the Katy Perry universe, it adds yet another layer to her miscalculation of women empowerment. After the flight, she also said she couldn't recommend the experience more, as if it is something readily available to everyone. Things settled, but then recently it's announced that her and Orlando Bloom, who share a child together, have broken up after 9 years. And criticisms of the recent music aside, that is sincerely so much to go through back to back. And while there are valid criticisms to be aimed at Katy and her art, her breaking up with the father of her child is not something to punch down on her for. There's been a bit of sensationalism surrounding this breakup. I will say that the announcement of this breakup jogged my memory on my initial thought about some of the lyrics on 143. For those of you that don't know, 143 is code for I love you. For an album that's intended to be a celebration of love, there is a fair amount of uncertainty on some of these lyrics that I don't think a person in a happy relationship would write. It is kind of interesting to witness a foreshadowing in real time. Like on her single with Doechii, I'm His, He's Mine, where she says, I'm every woman he knows exists, I'm his main, I'm his side, I'm every woman that's in his mind. I can see you flirting, why you overworking, on him like a suntan, go and get your own man. Now these aren't the best lyrics, but they do express a feeling. And I remember thinking with this song, Katy is trying to tap into that I'm that bitch energy, and I thought the lyrics were something foreign to her and just her trying to reel in a younger crowd. But I think in light of recent events, it shows that there is a bit of sincerity in this album. It also shows this flawed but common mindset of like, these other girls want my man, and not the mindset that it should be, my man is entertaining these other girls. In another album cut, Truth, it lays on the uncertainty even heavier. I want to know the truth, even if it hurts me. I got a vision keeping me up at night, my intuition's telling me things ain't right. Can't look in the mirror, what is it you're trying to hide? Can't give me the password to your phone, not start a fight. You're treating me different, tell me what's going through your mind. You're acting so distant, who do you see when you close your eyes? So there are some moments where I'm like, oh, this wasn't just all boardroom, extremely impersonal generated pop. There seems to be an air of truth in some of these songs, even if the execution isn't the best. Heartbreak is awful for anyone, so I don't just say this to treat it flippantly, but if Katy Perry can transform these authentic feelings into a good pop song, she could get back on track. We saw Miley do it with Flowers, and Katy is no stranger to turning her heartbreak into hits. She did it in real time during the Teenage Dream era after Russell Brand broke up with her by text message while she was on tour. And what followed were songs like Wide Awake, where she's waking up from the teenage dream. I know that Thinking of You has also experienced a resurgence on TikTok, and I think something like that is the perfect gateway for her to center herself and her artistry again. Songs like The One That Got Away and Thinking of You aren't her biggest, but they do rank amongst her best and a lot of people's favorite because they have so much heart. With Katy Perry though, you can never really be too certain. Even if the road for her is paved, she has a tendency to walk on the dirt. But hopefully she actually hears and accepts the reception and can turn her lemons into lemonade.